Okay, everybody, welcome and congratulations to everybody, the 34 people. Actually, there was a little more than 34. We had some second time around. Actually, there was we had some resubmissions, but they're actually both not more than second time around. I think they were like 3 or 4 times around, like people who started their websites years ago. So sadly, I've chopped those off. These are all going to be first submissions because I thought 34 was more than enough for us to try and absorb within a 2-hour period. So this is a huge amount of, hang on a second, I'm trying to just adjust something here. All right, this is a ton of websites to get through. I won't attempt to go too much in depth on any of them, but let's see if we can cover some of the high points. And like Cameron was alluding to, let's see if we can just celebrate the kind of act of creation here. It is extraordinary that out of this training, we have 34 brand new websites coming to the world, and I'm sure there are more, 2 or 3 times that amount, many of which haven't quite made it by this deadline. And I've noticed that in the Facebook group, there are plenty of people who are close but not quite there. So what should we say? Should we say 100 new websites? That's pretty amazing. That's really very, very, very cool. So let's get started. So the first one, and by the way, the sequence here, the sequence is completely random. The sequence is what I was sent by the folks at AWAI that have sent me a document saying, here are the submissions. I haven't played around with the sequence at all. So it is very much in no particular order. Although you may want to wait to the end because the last one is quite dramatic, Right. Okay, so the best news daily. So positive news and breakthroughs. Here's an interesting website, interesting topic, in that it focuses on good news in a world where, as we know, 99% of all news stories are bad news. And there's a reason for that, is that people, most news websites understand that people are attracted to bad news. It's a survival thing. It's like somehow our brains are more attracted to bad news. But I've certainly had times in my life where I said, you know what, I'd love to find a place where I can find some good news, because bad news is depressing. If you spend your whole day in front of bad news, you end up feeling pretty rough by the end of the day. So I think something like the Best News Daily is terrific. I think it's a terrific domain name. I think the way I don't even know how you've put this together, how you've created this. But I think you've done a wonderful job here, and the way you've broken it down into different categories, environmental news, medical breakthroughs, environmental, animal rights, things like that, so people can kind of choose the good news they want. So I don't have any big argument to say, oh, my goodness, this isn't working very well or that doesn't work. I like how you have that kind of narrow header area, the Best News Daily. I guess you might at some point go for a little bit more warmth in the kind of logo, the look and feel there, because if it's a good news website, then maybe we can get a little bit of warmth up there. And then we've got the search here. We've got the social media. I haven't gone through to see if these are yet connected to live social media. No. Well, let me see. That Facebook isn't, Twitter is. So, yeah, this is definitely the kind of site where you want to encourage lots of sharing. Share the good news. Share the best news daily. So that'll be strong. So I think I really like this. I like how it's broken into categories. I love the concept. I think particularly right now where the world is just awash with bad news, there's a really good argument. You can really talk about this. You can talk this up in social media and say to people, hey, don't depress yourself all day long. Sure, keep up with the news, but don't expose yourself to bad news all day, every day. So nice job on this. Really like that. Moving on, the educated rabbits. So this is we already have within the kind of alumni of the program a strong raisingrabbits.com. Now we have the educated rabbit, smart humans, happy rabbits. Now, one thing I'm going to say here, and I'm going to repeat it, and is that you see I'm going to repeat it because it applies to lots of different websites. You see this top piece here, the header area. If I go to, I'm at home. Now let me go to rabbit litter boxes. See what's happened? It's almost like, and I'm now going to go to handling rabbits. This header area takes up like 2/3 of the space on the screen. On my phone, that header area would take up the entire first so that I actually, each time, if I go to to be sure I've gone to a new page, I actually have to scroll down and say, oh, okay, I did get to handling rabbits. This, and I did mention this a couple of weeks ago, this header area you want to make pretty narrow, like here, where it says Best Daily News. So as I go here from page to page, when I go to a new page, boom, you can absolutely see it's a new page. It's absolutely different each time because the header area is so narrow. When you have a very deep header area, as I move from page to page, it doesn't, at first glance, look like I've actually gone anywhere. I actually have to scroll down and say, oh, okay, I am on a new page. So this is a design issue. It's a usability issue. It's confusing and irritating for people. So certainly with something like this, there is a way to, hey, I do like the rabbit with a monocle. It's very cute. But there's definitely a way of redesigning that so it's in a narrow format like that. So I'd strongly encourage that. The width here, is this, I believe this is a solo build it. See, no, something, okay. Is this, I believe this is a solo build it website. There are plenty of different ways to set up your navigation with Solo Build It. At the moment, you have it on the right-hand side, which is kind of counterintuitive because it's very unusual for navigation to be on the right-hand side. It's most common to have it navigating across the top. Second most common is to have the navigation over on the left side. Navigation on the right side is unusual. Does that make it bad? No, but whenever you put something unexpected in front of someone, they have to, it's just a little extra time on the page saying, okay, well, how does this work? Oh, okay, it's over there. So rather than being intuitively being able to find the navigation, they have to figure out how you've done it. And that's why in a lot of web design, we try to have some elements pretty consistent across websites, like, the way the header is, the way the navigation is, so that it's easy for people to find what they want. So I've been a little critical in terms of layout. And by the way, you can make this wider. This is looking fairly narrow. The plus side is that the width of your columns is definitely manageable, and you got some lovely photos. I really like. And I'm assuming, are these your photos? I'm assuming a lot of them are your photos, or all of them are. And you also have, as I scroll down here, a ton of content here, which is fantastic. So my argument here is not about the content. I think you got a really nice website in terms of what you're sharing here. I'm just saying there are a couple of things, like I say, in the depth of the header, the positioning of the navigation, and perhaps also the overall width of the page, or maybe it's the darkness of these margins to left and right that's kind of, maybe try that a little lighter. It's just looking a little, play around with it. But definitely that header thing, I would make that more narrow. But like I say, in terms of content, I think you're well on your way. You're doing a fantastic job. Okay, so something completely different now. National Reading Diagnostics Institute, Naperville, Reading Tutoring Center through Learning Styles. So this is about reading tutoring. Helping kids to read, fix reading comprehension and phonics problems. My difficulty with this is that even I'm a fairly good reader. I had a bit of trouble with the with the headline here. This is quite a mouthful, that heading. So I'd maybe just, again, for the first-time visitor, and again, it depends. Hey, if the website is just for professionals, in reading diagnostics, then fine. If it's for parents, if it's for the general public, then you've got to really speak in our language. You've got to make it much easier for us to understand. So that really is a bit of a mouthful. National Reading Diagnostics Institute sounds very formal as a domain name. I'm fine with that. A good domain name. And as I understand it, you actually created the institute yourself. But like I say, one thing I would do is like just that, because it's the first thing I'm reading at the very top there, and it sounds and feels very kind of heavy and technical and professional to me, which, like I say, if this is just for professionals, that's fine. But if it's for regular people, for parents of children, then what it does is it creates a bit of a barrier. It creates a bit of a, oh my goodness, this looks a little highbrow for me. Maybe I'm in the wrong place. So be mindful of that. That said, although it's a fairly formal topic, you got some fun coloring here. You got some great images here. and you got some good content here. So hang on a sec. Ask the blog. I like the ask the reading ask the expert thing. Test writers create questions with multiple choice answers designed to trick students. How to find the best read. So early days, we can see we've just got a couple of posts here now, which is fine. Ask the reading expert. This I like, the idea that people are invited to ask questions, because that can, I've done it, like I think I mentioned before, probably 75, 80% of my website, Coffee Detective website, is based on questions that people have asked me and answers I've provided. So that can be very, very strong. So you got some good content. You got your header area is not too deep. Like I say, I just find the text a bit of a struggle, even for, like I said, I'd consider myself a reasonably advanced reader, and I really had to pause and stop to get that. So maybe just play around with that. And one thing I would say for everyone is that as I scroll down, this actually looks pretty good. You see how the paragraphs are 3 or 4 lines each generally. This one's a little bit longer. Super important when you're writing a website, particularly a homepage, is that you make it appear easy to read. So there are some other websites, I'll probably mention it, but if it applies to you and I don't mention it, be aware of it, where the paragraphs are super long, like 10, 15 lines long. As soon as you do that, as soon as you write something like that, you're almost kind of signaling to the reader of, hey, this is going to be hard work. This will be really hard to read. So be aware of that. Be aware of the appearance. So this applies to the header text. It applies to the body text. Like I say, in your body text, I think you've done fine. It looks easy to read. It looks accessible. All right, moving on. Senior Sudgeons. So fun domain name. Good that you got that one. Now, Sudgeons isn't that of a common word, but to be able to find a domain name with 2 words is pretty cool. Nice photos too. So this is kind of fun because it actually opens with an About Us page. So this is really one of those websites that's all about follow us as we explore. So this is not saying, hey, we are the experts, we've compiled a lifetime of information. It's basically, here we are, we're a couple in our 70s, as I recall. Yeah, here we go. And we are going to travel around, and we're going to share that with you as we go. So totally legitimate topic. A lot of fun, a lot of, I want to try and move, I can't. Oh, I was going to move photos, but I can't. Okay, I guess the slideshow is coming, the photo gallery is coming. But that's great. Now, that said, if I now go to the blog, all right, I was worrying we might have the same, it's kind of interesting. Hang on, let me go from home to blog. I'm just looking at this header area. I mean, you do still have this kind of big block. So I'm halfway down the page here before I get into the blog. I might, if you're gonna go from your header area here, you've got the image and this and that kind of square almost here. I might move that square over to the left and make it much smaller so I can bring the content of the page up higher. It's the same issue I was having before. Show me as much of each page as you can. Don't let the header information hog the page. The other thing, and again, I get it that it's early days, but certainly a website like this, I want to see lots of social media activity, because if you're traveling, traveling is a time when, most of us with social media profiles, we want to share our vacations. We share the photos, we share video clips, we share the stories of where we've been and what we've done. So you're going to have a lot of shareable content here. So definitely, you want to get into that. You want to get some social media sharing happening here. But yeah, I think a lot of this is going to be about, oh, look, that slideshow does work. It just doesn't work if I click on it. Or does it now? Oh, well, it's getting there. It's getting there. All right. But I'm assuming those are just placeholders at the moment. So reviews, I don't think there's anything here yet. No, reviews to come. So again, I'm guessing this is part of the monetization thing of where you're going to start reviewing products or services or destinations or whatever to get some affiliate income. And again, I just moved that Senior Sudgeons maybe over to the left and make it smaller so the content can come up the page a bit. Sustainability Scout. So like I said, topics are all over the map. We've got all kinds of different topics today, which is amazing. I love the fact. I love the variety, and I love the fact that a lot of the topics we come across I wouldn't have even anticipated. I have no idea someone would actually do it. So that's great. And Sustainability Scout is a kind of nice. Again, it's a two-word domain name. Nicely done. Amazing photograph here. So this, I guess, it starts off with, are you sick and tired of environmentalists trying to scare you or make you feel guilty? So am I. But for a moment, it feels like, okay, this isn't a sustainability or an environmental site at all, but actually it is. It's just saying, let's be real about it. Let's look at it, not go crazy about it, but let's look at the reality here, which I kind of like. So a couple of things here. We've got Sustainability Scout and the main navigation at the top here. Then we have the name and a tagline. Then we have the text. So if I go to Green Living, all right, so that's to come. But again, I've got quite a lot of depth in that header area. So maybe this Sustainability Scout, scouting out reliable information on sustainability, maybe you don't need that section. Maybe you can just add the tagline into this, make that a little narrower. And again, like I say, bring everything further up to the top. I like the fact that you plan to have recent comments down the side. This image here tells me that you're going to get some amazing, sustainability, environment, things like that. You're going to get some really nice images. One thing I would say here is that the text size is very small for old people like me and not so old people. I would definitely try to go for a larger font size in the body text. It just makes it much, much easier to read. And as I scroll down and I'm looking at books, and my first instinct is, okay, so we've got some Amazon books, some affiliate stuff. But if I look very closely, and if I do some digging on my own, I discover that the author of these books is the author of this website. And now I'm thinking, well, hang on, talk about hiding your light under a bushel. If you're a published author on this topic, let's bring this up to the front. Let's bring this up maybe to the right-hand side, maybe within, I don't know. But it's like, when people come to a website for the first time as a stranger, they kind of play around basically in this kind of space. That's why I'm saying make your header area not too deep, because people are not going to commit to scrolling down the whole page the first time they come here, unless they know you, unless they're your mom or your daughter or something. They're going to come across somehow through a link, through a search result, through a friend's recommendation. They're going to come to Sustainability Scout. They're going to poke around like this. Oh, okay, is this for me? And let's look at the navigation. Is this? Oh, well, maybe not. And they never got down. I never got as far. And look at this, how small my books. Like, if you're a published author, then let's make something more of that. Let's bring it up to the top. Let's turn it into some of the drama of this. Let's take it in some of the credibility of this. Is that, sure, there are tons of websites on this kind of topic out there. This is different because I'm an expert. I'm a published expert. I'm an acknowledged authority. I've written the book on this. So that is definitely true for here. And definitely true for here. And for anyone else, if you have any kind of professional background, or you're a published author or a speaker, anything that adds credibility or authority, don't hide that. Don't just hide it on your about page or at the bottom of the page or halfway down the page like this. Bring it to the front, because a lot of websites, they don't actually have authority or credibility out of the gate. It takes a long time to build that kind of authority. Certainly, say, Coffee Detective probably took me about 4 or 5 years before I had any kind of authority or credibility as a source. But if you've written books about it, go for it. Now, then you have category pages, and like your instinct to kind of do these with images and text, yes, but the layout, the presentation of these is looking a little, if I can be slightly mean for a moment, looking a little 1998. So I'm not sure what theme, what service you're using here. Let me see, Weaver Extreme theme. I'm sure I hope the Weaver Extreme theme offers a better way of presenting categories than this. Like I say, I like your instincts of showing categories visually with short text in a link. Just this little the little black box and the little small images, it does look very old school, which again gives me slightly the wrong impression. But hey, early days, so go back and see if you can make that look a little crisper. So, Time Out for Teachers, Community, Inspiration, Positivity. I love this kind of site where somebody creates a site in support of others, a particular group. In this case, it's teachers. I've mentioned a few times I have a friend who has a site in support of carers, of caregivers. So caregivers care a lot for other people, but who cares for caregivers? And this is a bit like, teachers give their all to teach our kids, but who looks after teachers? And so I guess this site is stepping up a bit with some positivity and inspiration, tips and tricks, time out for you. So, David, I was just talking about this presentation of topics. What I'm thinking of is more like this. This is definitely more kind of modern than what we'd expect from a website. Is we've got the images, but it just looks kind of neater and cleaner this way. And I like the fact that when I get in here, on my first screen, the first time I'm presented with this information, I got Time Out for Teachers, Community, Inspiration, and Positivity, and immediately, boom, I got 3 places to go. I don't have to read 100 words. Truth be told, I'm probably going to skip this. It's nice that you said it. Maybe somebody will read it. Honestly, I'll probably go here. I'll say, oh, look, Time Out for Teachers, and I'll probably go straight down to these 3 images. And one of them will catch my imagination, and I'm going to click on it, positivity, and here we go. And basically, it looks like a series of blog posts and more information. And again, nicely presented, nice view. Now, slightly strange. So if I here, I got Time Out for Teachers. I'm not sure whether the way this is laid out with this big fat blue thing on the left is the way you intend, because if I go here, the next page, now I have Time Out for Teachers. I don't have that big fat blue thing. I actually preferred this look. It looks cleaner to me. So maybe that's something on the home page that you are going to clean up on. So now tips and tricks. Yeah, so it's only the home page. How do I get back to the home page? Up here, I presume. All right, so it's just looking a little odd. So maybe that is just a layout thing for now. But overall, love the topic. I love the mindset, the idea of reaching out and helping a group of people who help others. That's just a personal thing. I like that. Hey, you see how short and simple this homepage is? Love that. And again, we've got the social media buttons at the bottom. I bet with something like this, I bet there's a ton of Facebook groups out there that are teachers. I bet there are tons of Facebook groups for teachers. Maybe there are probably all kinds of community groups for teachers. These are the people who want to hear about this website. So I would totally reach out to those people and let them know this website exists. Now, you got to do it, and don't be pushy about it, but just let teachers know. So like I say, not sure about the big fat blue thing at the top, but the rest of this page, I think we can all learn from, because it's very lean, it's very clean. You very quickly told us what the website is about. You're giving me 3 simple ways forward. Just get me into the site. So in terms of presentation of content, I like this page best so far out of the gate, just simply because it makes it easy for me as a reader. This is a whole kind of usability thing. And like I say, with 34 sites to go through, I'm really kind of focusing on the home pages, on usability, those first few moments on a website. So Jonathan Quick, freelance writer. At first I thought, hang on, this isn't a money-making website. But it is, and Jonathan, you know I'm going to say to you, because it's an amazing photograph. I presume that's you with this propeller, which is amazing. But if I go to life events, it's like, now I'm going to go to the memories page. I'm on the memories page. Now I'm going to go to politics page. Yep, now I can tell up here that I'm on the politics page, but I can't tell on the screen that I've gone anywhere, because every single page looks exactly the same. Exactly the same. I got the picture, I got your name, I've got, on this one, I've got the first half of your links. I don't see anything underneath. You've got to reduce the depth of your header area. Otherwise, every single page looks the same. All right, so going back. So it's tricky actually to figure out exactly what this website is about. It's really kind of a personal stream of consciousness site as far as I can tell. So here we are, annoyances, things that annoy Jonathan. Do you see your paragraph length? That is very, very long for a first paragraph. One of the things I do is when I'm writing a page like this is I'll do a carriage return right here, all right? Because I want that first paragraph to look super simple. I want to make it look easy. I want to say to the reader, it's easy to get started reading this page. All right, so I use words as a design tool. I'm designing the page with words to say, hey, this is easy to get started, easy to start reading. Whereas if the first paragraph is whatever this is, 10, 12 lines long, you're saying the opposite of, hey, this is hard work. This is a big chunk. So you get all kinds of fun stuff here. I'm not quite sure on the topic here. I'm not quite sure on the audience here, who this is for. I'm not quite sure what the promise is of the website. So if I go back here, this is pretty clear now. This is time out for teachers, community. The promise, the audience, the topic, the purpose, the promise, and then I go down here, the positivity, inspiration, time out. In a few moments, I understand the audience, the purpose, and the promise of the website. Super important. Here, let's say we've addressed the issue of the big image and we've got a narrower header area. Again, I'm not quite sure who this is for or what the purpose of the site is or what the promise of the site is. You've got some, before I went through a few pages and I've read some of your text. And you got some great stuff here. You got some really, really interesting stuff here. But I read through because that's what I was doing this morning. I was going through these websites. But if I came across it as a stranger, if I didn't know you, I wouldn't know. And I still honestly don't quite know who this is for, what the purpose is, and what the promise is. So that's you can maybe everyone can take a quick note of that. Who's it for? What's the purpose? What's the promise? If you can communicate that on the first screen of the home page, you're probably 90% of the way there. Small backyard DIY. That said, when I first read the domain name, it was small backyard yard DE. And then I thought, yard DIY, got it. I had to think my way through that. I think it was after I read the small backyard, then I went back out and said, it's DIY. All right. So, again, we do have that little problem with the depth here, and I don't know why. It seems to be tempting. It's like everyone's first version has this incredibly deep header area, and I'm not quite sure where that temptation comes from. But this one, hey, whether it's the same image or change the image, super easy just to reduce the depth here. So, next first thing I'm going to say is your font here. See the font here? Super easy to read. Font here, pretty easy to read. Font here, horribly difficult to read. You see, the font you use has a real impact on the usability, on the friendliness of a website, on how easy it is for people to read and comprehend information on a website. So you get any website that I own, any website that I work on, all my fonts look like this, a sans font. So this is a super simple, no little tails like Times Roman. A simple sans font like Arial or Verdana. And I use the same simple font for headline because my primary purpose is to make it look easy to read. Because remember, our audience, this isn't like a print magazine or a TV show. Our audience is always distracted. They're always on the verge of going somewhere else. They're always they have like a hair trigger. They're about to go to another website. They're about to go back to their Facebook page. They're about to check their Twitter stream. They're about to look to see if they got any more likes on their Instagram photograph. They're always about to go somewhere else, which means as web creators, we have to make sure that we never pull that trigger, that hair trigger. And it can be as simple as a font that is a little harder to read. That can be enough. If somebody says, and they go back to their Facebook page. So in terms of the topic, the whole idea of small backyard, it's taking, it speaks directly to what we talked about weeks ago, of taking a broad topic like gardening and taking a small niche of that, like the small backyard. And we've got another gardening website topic coming up. So you've got some very interesting, very practical stuff here: invasion by scale insects, constructing your own French drains. I did that once, heck of a job. So you got some great information. You've got some great photographs, and a lot of them look like your own photographs. So there's lots of how-to value here. So I really like that. I would, like I said, I'd definitely make this header area not so deep. And then, so look, here we go. We're going down. We're going down here before we get to an image. And I think images are the most powerful part of this story of a small backyard. This is going to be a visual journey of let me see, show me how, let me see what it looks like as I'm putting those French drains in. Let me see how to do this. So there's going to be images, there's going to be videos, I hope, how-to videos. You should definitely have a YouTube channel attached to this so I can see, you can show me how to with video. And hey, doesn't have to be fancy equipment. It can be somebody in the family recording video on their smartphone while you show people how to do stuff. But there is this, if I'm being mean, so I'll be mean for just a minute, this looks like a lot of blah, blah, blah before you get to the good stuff. This is the good stuff. Show me how. Show me before and after. Before and after, super powerful. People love that. All right, it's almost like there's too many words here. Don't tell me, show me. And with something like backyard, anything to do with gardening, very, very visual topic, you can absolutely be showing me rather than talking about it. I'm not saying there's no place for any of this information, but maybe not on the homepage. On the homepage, maybe help me get directly into seeing what it is I can learn from this site. By the way, the Small Backyard, I think, is a really nice name for the website, and you'll probably be fine. But there is this quite slightly weird Small Backyard Diddy. That is, I'm sure Small Backyard was taken. So I wouldn't stress about that. I think that's fine. And you've got lots of good topics, and hey, you can write about this forever, I'm sure. But be sure to go multimedia. Be sure to focus on those images, on video clips and things like that. All right, moving on. So here we're kind of getting into political or an apolitical, hard to say. Do not be fooled by government, notfooledbygovernment.com. So a pretty nice domain name. So basically this is looking at, and it's kind of interesting. I think we have a couple of websites like this today. And I guess it's, across the Western world, we're probably all of us more aware of kind of political issues and populist issues and government issues and scope of government and all that kind of stuff happening right now. So there's probably a very good audience for this. Probably a lot of people are kind of thinking and trying to wrap their heads around this. So now this is, again, it's a lot of words with some images. So you got to really, let me see. Lessons for a Free America. If government controls every aspect of your life. Again, I'm trying to think of who's the audience, what is the purpose, what is the promise. Don't be fooled, government. Don't fall for legalities. Understand the deceptions. People are destroyed by lack of knowledge. Okay, so I'm going to self-select as I'm interested. Am I interested in this? So I'll say, okay, yeah, I'm interested in this. But what's the promise? What's the purpose? What's the promise? What am I going to get out of this if I dig in? Because you're asking me to do, this is a big commitment. I don't know you. I'm a stranger to your website. And I got what? 500, 1,000, 800, 1,000 words on the homepage. You got to give me a really strong reason. So again, that's why I favor, if I can guess which one it was, that one, where you make it really simple, the message up front, and give me 3 or 4 ways forward. All right? Whoops, getting ahead of myself. So just give me a broad promise of, hey, here's what you're going to get from this website. And rather than giving me a long homepage to read, maybe just give me 3 or 4 ways forward. So I can kind of dip my toe in. I can try a couple of 2 or 3 sections and think, oh, okay, this is interesting. And at that point, then I think, all right, now I'm ready to read this kind of length. Social media, definitely. There's a lot of going to be a lot of shareable content here. Is there going to be enough? Let me see. Government outrage, privacy, anti-privacy technology. Let's just go there. Just a random click. All right. So we got an image there. Hey, you got a ton of content, which is really good, and you've also got a ton of links, which I find. So this is really deep in terms of content, which will do you. Like on interior pages, I'm all for this. It's fantastic. People love it, and Google loves it. My argument about length of content on the home page is very specific to home pages, because that's where people want to dip their toe in and say, hey, am I going to spend time on this website? So I love the depth of content you have. The amount of content you have is amazing. I just maybe rethink the home page to say, hey, if I just had 15 seconds of someone's time, that they clearly can't read all that. If I literally just had 15 seconds, what would I put on this home page? And again, that's not a bad challenge for all of us, because truth be told, that's kind of generous to think that a stranger coming to your site will give you 15 seconds. Consider that maximum. Seriously. If you actually start looking at the analytics on this and the data on this, 15 seconds of stranger coming to a website homepage for the first time, that's pretty generous. So if you just ask yourself, hey, if somebody spent 15 seconds on this page, would they get it? Would they get it to the degree that they're going to think, hey, yeah, definitely. I'm going to spend some more time here. I'm going to bookmark it. I'm going to maybe tell my friends about it. You might want to, I guess the fact that you don't really have a logo at the front, you just have the statement, in a sense, is a design statement in itself. It's kind of minimalist. But hey, maybe down the road a ways you'll want to put some kind of little logo there to again, it's almost like a branding thing, so people recognize the logo as well as the words. So probably the most fun, and again, this is kind of like I say, this is random sequence, but a little bit related to the website we just had. And this is about getting to the truth. It's about critical thinking. It's about looking at the information we see in the world and actually thinking it through and deciding for ourselves whether it's true, whether it's honest or not. One of the coolest things here is the domain name, Twisty Talk. Who could imagine that you could still find a domain name in 2 words that short that actually fitted the topic you wanted to talk about? So I love that. So Twisty Talk, that it can't, I'm not entirely sure about the repetition of the words in the brain itself. It looks a little bit kind of messy to me. But, all right, so some things. Twisty Talk, getting to the truth of the matter. And again, let's say, 15 seconds. Who's it for? What's its purpose? What's its promise? So if I get getting to the truth of the matter of what? I'm not sure yet. Critical thinking. Critical thinking is not what most people think. It's both more simple and more complicated than the standard public concept. Critical thinking is getting to the truth of the matter. Again, I'm not quite clear what this is yet. All right, now the next thing, and this is like, again, just from a usability, and again, if we're looking at the 15-second rule, this is going to kill you, and that is that having these 2 columns where I start reading one column, then like an old magazine or a newsletter, I go back up to start reading the second column. That is not going to work online. We don't do that online. It's a kind of convention in print newsletters. There's a convention in print magazines. We don't build web pages like that because people don't scroll back up. They just don't. If you get 1,000 people to this page, out of the people who got to propositional logic, then have a look at the percentage of readers you lose and how many actually then go up to it's almost none will go back up. So you've got to be very aware of design conventions for the web. And again, let me go to some other, I'll go to persuasion. So again, it's interesting. You got different images, but you're losing 2/3 of the page to that header area every time. Rhetoric, patriarchal propaganda, the mother of manipulation. Again, we've got the 2 columns. We've got a kind of decorative image. We have a more useful image here, but it's principally text. And I'm not saying there isn't some great information here. I had a bit more of a poke around this morning, and there is. it's just that you've got to make it easier for people to get it. So first of all, address this massive header area. Look on this one, with that image, I see nothing. I go to the fallacy link, and I'm just getting the same message as the homepage, getting to the truth of the matter, and I've got to scroll. And again, I just don't know. So as with the other sites I've mentioned, okay, not done yet. Early games would be fun, but again, we're getting there. All right. So if I go back to the homepage, the under persuasion, fallacy, logic games and the stuff, by all means, have this heavy, dense information. On the homepage, once we've addressed the depth of the header thing you've got to do for this site, on the homepage, critical thinking, you've got to make this more visitor-friendly. You've got to make it so that I can, within 15 seconds, answer that question in my mind. Is this for me? What's it about? What's the promise? Is it worth me spending time here? Because that's the thing about what's the promise? The other way of saying that, is it worth my spending time here? Because the promise that's going to be yes, this is going to be fun, this is going to be interesting, this is going to be helpful, this is going to be informative, this is going to be entertaining. It's got to give me a reason to stick around. So this first page, unless you are only after a very, very academic audience who are just all about the words, if this is for more general public consumption, you've got to make it easier for me in those first 15 seconds. Break it out into sections. Make these concepts much, much simpler. Explain it much more simply. So that just on the homepage, elsewhere, do your thing. Just on the homepage, make it easy for me to understand what it's about and what am I going to get out of it. Short season garden. Hang on, I just need a little water here. So we had the small backyard, and now we've got the short season. I think I have a book downstairs on being Canadian. We know all about short season gardening. And I think I've got a book down. I think it's cold. It's not short season. It's almost like cold season gardening, something like that. So, yeah, I love it. So, again, it's the gardening topic, but a particular niche within that gardening topic. Short season garden, as a domain name, I like because it communicates the topic very clearly. Cool season vegetables gardening gives advantage to northern zones. Actually, I find that slightly intriguing. So November in zone 3B, sounds like where I live. So I like that. I like the fact that see the header area here? I'm just going to agree to that so I can. So if I go to easy to grow veggies, all right, so now I'm going to, again, hey, even that header area is kind of deep, but it's better than many we've seen. Basics, hang on a sec, easy to grow veggies. Oh, here we go. So the other thing I would say, look, see the images you got? These are too small. This has got to be all about the images. These should be big, fat images. Again, it's like I said a little bit with the other one. With something with short season gardening, this should be about images. This should be about before and after. It should be about how to. The images should be bigger and bolder. And the words, the text, should be almost not optional. It's like almost like, hey, after you've looked at the images, or if after you've seen this video, if you want to know more, keep reading. It's like I need to be able to skim through this site and kind of really get some value out of it without committing to the big reading. Incidentally, you have some text on a few pages that is reversed out in white on brown, and I'm not quite sure why. When you reverse text out, it's a little bit like a font choice. It actually makes it a little harder for people to read when you reverse text out. So I'd find a different way. You can put a box around it. You can sort of emphasize or highlight it in a different way, but I wouldn't have that dark brown background. Again, the brown feels a little, I get it with the earth and stuff, but it's a little old school, and like I say, when you reverse text out, it actually makes it harder to read. But I would definitely give let's get a season extension. You see how it's starting? You're starting with text. I would start with, like, I'm just going to go, hang on, I'm going to go where I'm back there. I'm just going to go to Coffee Detective, and I'll go to a random page. Almost every page on this site begins with a descriptive headline, followed by an image or a video with a little bit of a description, and then you see my short paragraphs there, and then I'm getting into other options forward. All right, and I got some ads and stuff. I almost always introduce a page with an image or a video because it's just an easy way to get people in. It's an easy entrance point. If the first thing I show is a big block of text, again, it's saying to people, hey, this is hard work. You got to read this stuff. You don't want to do that. So if you've got an image like this, just bring it right up the top. Bring it right up the top. So, oh, look, a nice, pretty picture. It's like a kid's book. I've written before. I wrote a blog post years ago about designing a website as if it were a kid's book, a young children's book, where the images take the lead. And it's definitely the case. It's definitely the case. There's certainly websites that I design, images or videos take the lead. It works on the web. It definitely is important on a smartphone because nobody wants to be looking at their smartphone reading long copy. Because this copy here, and I haven't even read it. I'm assuming it's wonderful, helpful copy, but that is about 2 screens on a smartphone, 2 or 3 screens on a smartphone. I'm scrolling, I'm swiping. But in fact, most of what I do on my smartphone is related to social media and texting, and is a very visual experience. So it's almost like I'm waiting, show me the pictures, show me the images. So again, you've got lots of useful content, but I want more images, more video. Make it something like gardening has got to be a very visual thing. Same for fly fishing for bass. So I know I'm kind of moving on quite quickly. So I'd say again, images super important. Because look at this. Come on, people. Why so many words? Why so many words on the homepage? Just show me the way forward. So you've got some various areas. The basics, where to, equipment, boats, etc. Do that like I showed before, like someone else showed before. Give me those 3 or 4 options to get into it. Give me the broad promise on this first screen of the homepage. Here's what, hang about on this site, and you will get 1, 2, 3, 4. Here are 4 ways in. Homepage is not the right place to expect anyone to read 500 words of text. They're not going to do it, not a first-time visitor. So this is one of the things about a website is that a return visitor will forgive you for anything. They will read anything if they like your website. So return visitors are full of forgiveness. First-time visitors are utterly unforgiving. If you do anything, that little hair trigger I talked about, anything to put them off, they'll leave. So if I think, oh, fly fishing for bass, love that. Oh wow, hang on, this looks like the small print from my insurance coverage I saw this morning. Bye, I'm out of here. Show me images, show me the videos. Videos, fly fishing, oh my goodness, bass. There's people who've made their entire living out of videos for fly fishing for bass. So more and more people are seeking a visual experience. So if you have a topic that is very visual, go with that. Again, in terms of interior content, by all means, a lot of people are looking for the detail. Show me the detail, but not the first. This is like your shop window. This is like getting dressed up for the prom. It's like this is where you get to people's. You create your first impression on the first screen of your homepage. Now, it's a nice photo, but now the header area up here, I guess I definitely can't complain in terms of its depth. I think it might be nice at some point to have a logo, some kind of logo design for the website. Your navigation is a little bit, it's kind of weird because you've got it on the left, you've got it on the right, and hang on, look how bad. We've got some videos. Let's go and look at the video. All right, so the how-to is perfect, right? It's great. So this is a kind of vertical shot with a phone, which is fine. But look at the navigation. I've got navigation in 2 lines on the top. I got navigation on the left, and I got navigation on the right. Is there something definitely wrong about that? No, it's not. It all works. But it's counterintuitive. It's not what people expect. People expect to find the navigation in one place, and that is generally either across the top there or down the side. But if you have it all three, then it's like, well, hang on, where am I meant to go? Where am I meant to, how do I find what I want? You're just adding that extra little bit of me trying to figure out how to use your site. And I should never have to figure out how to use a site. All right. But I love the fact that you're putting in how-to videos. I love the fact that you're putting them on the homepage. But instead of hiding them on the right-hand side, I'd build them in here. People love videos, whether I'm on my desktop machine, my laptop, my smartphone. I love, I want to, for sure, I want to watch videos. So show me, get it like broadcast the fact right on the homepage that, hey, there's videos here, because that's a very attractive feature, for a very visual how-to topic like this. And it's an outdoor topic. You got natural beauty, you got boats, you got all this great visual material. So just like I say, just too many words, I think, there for me on the homepage. Wine tasting adventures. So this is fun. This is fun. So we've got, let me see, I'm going to do my navigation thing. I'm going to go from here, the homepage, to wine and yoga. I'm going to go to wine and hike. Wine and adventure. Hey, it's kind of interesting. Where was I? I was at hike. It's not the same as the homepage, this header area, but again, I've got quite a lot of this, the wine and the hike. There's quite a depth here. It's almost half of my. Oh, look, and now I get down to the good stuff. And I'm assuming those images will change as you move in. Wine and bike. So yeah, I would try perhaps to devote less of the page to the header area. And skinny that up a little bit so you can bring the new stuff up on each page and people can see it. Now, going back to the home page, navigation on the top, cool. I got a whole width of the page to play with. I like. We search the globe for active, artistic, eco, and healthy-minded wine-tasting adventures so you don't have to. Cool. Obviously, like very visual images, which is great. Wine and bike, wine and hike, wine. So these are the categories repeating here. So this as a homepage I find much more compelling because I'm not sure about. Again, it's taking. I've got half of my screen here happening before I get to the information. I really want to get there sooner. So it's almost like I want to dump this bit. The wine tasting adventures. Maybe put that up in the header there, so that when I get to this page, I can get straight to here. I got the header, and then I get straight into the good stuff. I got images, which are very tempting, that attract my attention. I can now, you're helping me find what I'm interested in. Maybe I'm into bikes, maybe I'm into skiing, maybe I'm into yoga. I can very, very quickly find what I'm looking for. Featured, see how visual this is? Love it. There's no big blocks of long copy. Now, right at the very end, we're getting to a bit more longer copy, and we're getting into read more. But you are teasing me. You're giving me a taste visually of what I can expect. You're showing me the broad characters. So, yeah, this is how I would do it. It seems like the navigation seems like a bit of a lot at the top here. If you can find some way to break some of those down into some drop-downs so that you have a smaller number of links across the top. And like I say, wine and paint. I'm not sure about this kind of design element at the top because it just means I have to now scroll down to get to the good stuff. Mind you, I love this stuff. I love what you're doing with it. All right. So lots of strength there. And like I say, I like how you're doing the homepage. And let's all look at that, how we go straight into the kind of visual appeal of the topic and we leave the words in the description for a little bit later. So total switch in topic, daily devotionals helping you trust God every day. So again, I'm going to be kind of topic agnostic. I'm a bit of in terms of a churchgoer, I'm a bit of a weddings and funerals churchgoer. So this isn't a site aimed at me, but clearly it's a site that will appeal to a lot of people. And the fact, what I like here is that it's about, and we have another similar site coming up, but we're looking at devotionals. And I like how you break it down into women's and kids, camp staff. I wasn't expecting that. But like that, breaking it down, so you've got a broad topic and you're breaking it down into these smaller subtopics. So you're jumping in with some affiliate marketing on the left there. Subscribe to blog via email, okay. And basically it's a blog. It's a blog, and there's each day, I suppose, February 29th, February 25th. Well, every few days you're putting out a new blog post as a new devotional. So hang on, I'm going to go to kids devotionals. I'm not entirely sure about having that, the affiliate links on the top left there, because that's super important kind of real estate for your main message. People on a page tend to read from the top left and kind of down. So the stuff that you really, really want people to see, like in this case, this stuff, you really want over there on the left. I would put that kind of what I would call optional, whether it's the ads, whether it's the subscription, whether it's the Facebook page. I would put that over on the other side. I'd just switch. I'd have this main column over on the left. I'd have these two, and those two, maybe I'd make them into one column, give everything a little bit more space. About the width of both columns combined, but I think I've moved that over to the right. The look and feel is very clean and simple, which I think is appropriate to the topic. So I like what you're doing. It's also when you have, so you've got all this navigation down there. Wow, on the left. Wow, that's a lot. So these are all different devotionals, different categories. Yeah, I might play around with that. Maybe I can. Maybe some of that you can build into drop-downs across the top. Maybe you can figure out principal categories, and then have drop-downs that cover these. Because you've got these like in alphabetical order right now, which makes it kind of random for me. I have to go through everything to see if there's something there I want. So there's all kinds of stuff I like here. I think in the presentation, like I said, I'd put these two columns. I combine that into one column. I'd move it over to the right, and I'd try to simplify the navigation, I think. Hey, unless it's the kind of place where I just want to go in and randomly poke around, in which case it's fine. But if I'm looking for something in particular, it's probably not the easiest kind of navigation for me right now. So, love living with dogs. Hang on, slurp of water. So, love living with dogs, doing more. And the domain name is Love Living with Dogs. So it's not, that is just a gorgeous photograph. I love that one. Dog lovers learning to do more with their dogs. And then if you actually get into it and you're looking at, dogs doing agility courses, dog stories, wild man dog training, so dogs with, So this is about, it's not just about living with dogs. It's about people who have dogs for more than just kind of pets. It's getting them out there doing stuff with you in your life. That love living with dogs, doing more. So that it's the doing more, in a sense, is the point of difference here, which I like. And you've got some great stuff happening here on the sports. You've got some amazing photograph here. Where is it? Here, the focus of this dog, like coming over that jump and already focused on the next part. But again, on the home page, I would lighten up on the text and let's have, hey, dogs. People just, they can spend a whole day looking at photos and video clips of dogs. So this is a super, super visual topic. And like I say, that one image you have there is so good. I would do more. I'd use the home page, less to talk, less of the, and again, I'm being mean. I'm just saying blah, blah, blah. I'm sure it's not blah, blah, but it is a first-time visitor. That's the impression. It's like, oh, look, a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah. Show me the good stuff. Show me the images. Show me the categories. Show me dogs jumping, leaping, pulling sleds, whatever it is where dogs do more. Show me. And then if you engage me, if you excite me, if I think, oh, wow, this is amazing, now I'll dig in, and now I'll be prepared to read more. And it won't feel like blah, blah, blah anymore. It'll feel like deep information on something that interests me. But you've got to hook people. You've got to hook people in that first half of that first homepage. So, Clever Writers Portal. So here you go. And so, I wasn't entirely sure. I thought, well, hang on, is this a freelance copywriting website or is this a money-making website? And I guess it's both. But look, here we have the author, and here we have her books. Again, did I know these were her books right at the get-go? No, I didn't. She left me to figure that out. How did I figure that out? All right, here we go. Here she is. I also write, so I love creating stories. Right, enjoy writing. Right. It was at this point. In fact, I think the first thing I saw was I also write. And I thought, oh, hang on. You mean she wrote this? Then I went up and I saw, I'm Heather, writing my children's fantasy series, Legends of the Five Realms. Oh, okay, maybe that is a book. Oh, she wrote these books. And then I go back at the top and, oh, she's an author. So again, a little bit of hiding your light under the bushel here. I like the idea. I like the general promise of "Are you dreaming of living the author's life?" which obviously over here corresponds to the American writer and artist message. But it's about welcome. It's about books. It's about your vision. If you want to create a novel of your own, optimizing the book cover. It's about me, etc. So. Definitely, it could be a money-making website. It could be about selling your books. It could be about helping others. There's all kinds of ways you can monetize a site like this. The photographs of you, I think, are very engaging. I don't know whether these are professional photographs or you have someone in the family who's a really good photographer, but you come over very well, very strong in those images. Let me see if we go to about. Here you go, another nice photograph. And your book. So it's kind of an interesting site because I guess in a sense it's in part a showcase for your work, but the other part is helping others to do the same, which I really like. It's one of those kind of I know this stuff and I can help you do the same. And again, the header area is about as deep as I would want it. Let me just see. Yeah, I'm still getting enough to see that I'm on the new page. Don't these little images, no need to make them little, make them big, make them big. When you do little images like that, things can get they look a little weird when you get onto smartphones. But when you make the image like the full width of a column on the website, it kind of works well when you get on smartphones as well. Right, this is fun. So I started reading the domain name Adulting 101 by Mom, and I thought, I don't really get it. But then as soon as I saw this, Adulting 101, and then separately by Mom, and then Adulting is Hard, Hi Sweetheart, so glad you're here, I hope you have a good day. And then we got How to Grocery Shop, What to Have in Your Pantry, How to Make... So this just made me smile. I have a 20-year-old stepdaughter who, when I looked at this website this morning, she was on the phone making actually it was like for eyeglasses, but she was making an appointment. And it just really reminded me of like how her mom and I are kind of constantly teaching her this stuff, basic stuff, about grocery shopping and money and health and making appointments and like, what it might look like when she wants to rent a place to live. So I think this is a great topic, and I love there's a kind of mindset here. Adulting 101 by Mom. So it's Adulting 101 is teaching, but the by Mom has that kind of warmth and kindness to it. It's not a preachy, teachy kind of place. It's just Mom trying to help you move forward at this stage of life. So love the topic, a very particular topic, helping kids learn fundamental adult skills, which is really, certainly when I was at school, wasn't taught. And I think most of us kind of stumbled through and learned that stuff by accident. So I think this is a fascinating, super amazing, excellent topic. And you should definitely get on social media about this so that people can share their experiences. And also, once you've built this out a bit more, this is the kind of topic that you take to local radio station, local TV station. I bet you could get, if that's your thing, if you felt comfortable with it, I bet you could get interviewed, radio, TV stuff about this whole topic, Adulting 101 by Mum. Again, I think it's just such an attractive, appealing topic. And I've never seen it before. I've not seen this idea before. So that is super clear. Cleaning. Oh, my goodness. You mean I can teach my 20-year-old how to clean? I think at heart she's a teenage. She's a 20-year-old girl, but I think at heart she's a teenage boy, leaving stuff lying around. But look at you with your header. I just moved. Did you notice I went to the cleaning page? Bet you didn't. Are we there yet? Oh, what is that? I went to cleaning. Are we there? Have we changed page? How to make a budget. Hang on, I want to move. All right, how to make. So again, look, you've got over half the page is tied up with that header. Can't do that. Can't do that. Like, I think after the home page, like this whole block here, Adulting 101, you've already said that up the top. You don't need to repeat it. In fact, even on your home page, you probably don't need this bit. You've said Adulting 101 by Mum at the top. You can go straight to Adulting is hard, which is a fun verb in itself. So love the topic, love the general layout. You've got, it's kind of weird. You've got a very simple sans-faced font here on the left, and then you have, it's like a 10 times Roman here font here. I just had this font. I just have is this. This is a sans font. This is not sans font, and the sans font is always easier to read. So I do the same with my body copy. But I love this gray. I love the gray with the kind of pink. I love the topic. I would definitely dump that big block there because it kind of gets in the way. Mental health says not just fun stuff. It's important stuff for young adults to understand. Okay, I don't think there's anything there yet. So great start, great topic. Keep at it. Love that. In the Eyes of the Pot. Fascinating, fascinating. So this is the journey into the world of Native American pottery. Really like this. So you know what I'm going to say. Look, I'm going to go to history. I'm going to go to shapes and forms. And look, over half the page, 2/3 of the page remains the same. Don't do that. I don't know where did this come from. It's kind of weird because so many of you have done this. And in fact, I made a very specific point a week or two ago of saying don't do this. So I don't know whether it's the templates that people provide or advice from somewhere else. But it's like more often than not in this group, people are creating these very, very deep header areas. And like I say, it's just, hey, imagine that on a smartphone. You can go from page to page and have no idea that you've actually changed page because all you see is the same header information every time. So that aside, look at this. I love this. I love the imagery. I love the text. This is a lot of depth, a lot of information on this website. You have lots of drop downs, so it's kind of nice. Other people look at this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We just got 7 major categories and a whole bunch of drop downs under there. So there's a ton of content here and beautiful, beautiful images. Great stuff. So I get on the bottom, and now I've got my about, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So really nicely done. The black background on the left, I don't know. It's okay. It's not my favorite, that kind of black thing. I think websites are more attractive when they're kind of lighter. I used to have some dark or even some light backgrounds on websites. These days, whenever I build a website, it's just white. The background is always white. I think it looks more welcoming on a screen. Certainly on a smartphone, you don't really want a ton of black around the place. But love the topic, love the photographs. I just love look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, my goodness. How do I think, is that opened up another? Yeah, it has. I can't even get in there now. All right. Okay, so yeah, some wonderful stuff. Lovely topic. So again, this is the kind of topic that is kind of, is this a mass interest topic? No, it's not. But for people who like this looks like a fantastic resource. I think you got some tremendous detail here. So yeah, I'd come back. So I think that's the page we just, moving on. Kitchen design-wise. So, all right, so I'm not going to argue about your header taking up too much space, but I do think your header, I think you could do with a stronger design. So look, here you are. Is that you? So look, Vita. No, it's not you. Hang on. But look. Where did I go? About Vita. Here we go. So I'm a designer, and you have you got professional certifications: National Kitchen Bath Association, National Council of Interior Design qualifications. There you are. look at all these letters after your name. Highly, highly qualified kitchen designer. So I want to see on the home page, I want to see, like, I've got a very old picture here, which is kind of cute. Again, remember, I'm a stranger here. I'm coming for the first time, and you want me to read this? No, I don't want to read that. I want to see some images of the amazing work you've done in your career. I want to give me the eye candy. Show me kitchens that are designed wisely, beautiful kitchens. Show me, so I can go, if I'm going to go to layouts. So you're a professional. And again, I want to. Okay, so early days. There's lots of stuff that hasn't been filled in yet. But in the home page here, on the top here, give me a logo. I'm seeing like this image here. It's cute, but it's very small. I'm having to lean forward and squint to see what it is. I think you need a bolder, stronger header area. I want to know right from the get-go that I'm dealing with. You got it down here, but maybe we can have that photograph. Maybe we can have you over here saying, "Hi, my name is Vita. I'm a professional," etc., etc. And then in this main area, before we get to the words, show me some images. Show me some beautiful kitchens. All right, show me. Again, this 15-second rule. Who's this for? What's the purpose? What's the promise? And with something like this, with kitchen design, this is about design, so show me. Don't talk to me about design. Show me design. You can have the words underneath, but first, show me. That's what's going to capture my attention and my imagination. All right, toywhisperer.blog. I imagine it's .blog because .com is taken, but nobody's doing anything. I think .com is for sale. All right, so Toy Whisperer Tools for Learning. Again, early days, but yes, you want some kind of design, a header up here. Again, not too deep, but some kind of design, particularly with tools, with toys, because toys is kids, toys is fun. This should look playful and attractive. And we get down there, best toy for your special person, and we got kid photographs. One or two slightly strange things. I'm not quite sure why there's a line around the text here. I love that little fidget toy. I want to do that. I've never seen that one before. I love this big, fat, bold text you're using for your subheads and for your header. So hang on, let's go up here. Toddler toys. Right, nice. Again, nice photograph, but let's have more. Let's have more images. Let's have bigger images. Let's have videos. We've got some videos. I mean, the biggest thing I would say for now is that I really want to see some design at the top here. Definitely, I'll want to see some social media where we've got pictures of kids, which is great. You got kids playing with toys there, which is great. Again, I'm repeating myself over and over here, but here again is a super, super visual topic, toys for kids. Very emotional topic, kids. A lot of us have kids, or if we don't have kids, we've got nephews and nieces or neighbors and stuff like that. And this is something we all share, and most of us have in common. All the things we might not have in common, but one of the things most of us have in common is kids and toys. And most of those emotions and memories are tied up in images, not in words. So again, if you want to capture me, if you want to capture my attention in 15 seconds and tell me, if this is for me, and what's the purpose, what's the promise, then I think a lot of that is going to be images. So the biggest thing I think you need to do, obviously, is the header, and then figure some stuff out. Like here, you've got that first paragraph is all the lines are centered, which I don't think is quite right. The rest of the place you have it ranged left. I'd do the same with that first paragraph. But again, I think this is probably very early days, and you're just kind of playing around, putting stuff on the page for now, and you can clean this stuff up later. So share this, Twitter and Facebook. Yes, absolutely. Although again, I'd bring that up, make it part of like every page, much more visible, because again, I think social sharing can be a huge part of this. What toys do you try? What toys do your kids love? What toys do you recommend? What problems have you had with toys or with toy companies or returns or things like that? So great. Obviously, as I go through here, you got a big range of topics you can talk about, which is cool. So yeah, I think for now, a lot of it is going to be down to cleaning up the design of the site, particularly the header area. Right. Why cook healthy? Impress your family, impress yourself. Love the image. Again, you know what I'm going to say. If I go to my story, just getting a little bit of that because most of the page is that header. So again, you got to find a way to make that header area much, not nearly as deep. I've got to be able to, I really want to make that a narrow header up there so that I got much more information. Looking at it changes each time. So here we go. Welcome. Here we're on the home page. And here we go with the words again. And again, nothing wrong with the words, but it's not what I want to see when I first get here. Show me some healthy cooking. Show me family. Show me yourself. Show me the food. And this first image is lovely, but again, it's making for a very deep header. Take it out of the header. You could take that image. You could put it under "Welcome to my cook healthy" as an image there. You could give me a couple of lines in, and then you can show me some options visually. Show me some options of maybe it's where was I looking? Yeah, you can have lunch ideas, dinner, low carb. You can show me as visual images here. Here are 5 ways forward. Here's a block of 6 ways or 4 major topics forward. I used to, when I was doing a lot of consulting work with companies, I'd say to them that they'd have like ridiculously messy homepages because they'd have dozens of products and services and divisions. And I said, look, this is insane. You got so much information on the page, nobody's going to be able to find what they want. But I said, I bet that if you look at your analytics, that 80% of your visitors are actually looking for just 4 or 5 of these topics that you have scattered around and hidden on your homepage. And sometimes they had the answer, sometimes they'd go and dig it out. But the answer was almost always yes, is that 80% of visitors are actually looking for one of 3 or 4 things. So think about it yourself. If you had a look here, which are the top 4 ideas here? Is it breakfast, vegetarian, raw foods, and sauces? Maybe that's the 4. If that's the case, welcome to Cook Healthy, that image, 2 lines of intro text, 4 blocks, 4 images with some very, very short text and a link forward. So again, it's a shop window. It's not, you're not trying to educate me on the home page. I don't need a list text. This is a shop window. I want to be able to look at this and think, oh yeah, cool, that's what I want. That's what I'm interested in. So love the topic, love the image. I think in terms of the font, the heading, I love this. The size is just right. I like the smiley faces. Yes, you can use emojis. That's absolutely fine. Hang on, what have we got under create? All right, so I think we just got 1 blog post for now. Yeah, so you got recipes, which is great. Again, make those images. Don't be shy with the images when you have a nice image. Make it big. Make it bigger. So, kind of related, and again, coincidentally, it's just a random sequence here. So this is Vigor Boost, which is kind of a fun domain name. Again, we've had 2 or 3 different 2-word domain names, which is interesting because they're generally extremely hard to find. So, join us on a journey to discover healthy foods that boost the quality of life. So, a little bit similar to the last one. I like the image. I like the header. I like that little logo. Let me see. I'm just going to go to raw food, see what happens with the header there. Oh, hang on. You see, I just went to raw foods. I didn't notice it. Because all that's changing is this. The appearance here remains the same. It's just the first 2 words that change. All right. So again, I try to find a way to make that header area plus the navigation narrower. And again, after where it says, imagine if I went the way it is now, if after each title there was an image, then when I went to page, each page would look different because there'd be a different image. I'd see the top half of a different image every time. I'd know that I'd gone somewhere new. So, I mean, I love the look and feel of that header area, but it is, when I combine it with the white space above and I combine it with the navigation underneath, is too deep. It's over half the page, half the screen. I'm on a laptop. I'm not on a smartphone. But I love the idea of the Vigor Boost. I do like that logo. So you just have to kind of play around, find a version that's kind of half as deep. And so we can see more of what's different on each page. I love the simplicity here. Fat loss, raw foods, organic foods, green smoothies, blog contact. It's not too complicated. You're not trying to cover too much ground. And yeah, lots of images. Make the images bigger. Everyone's very shy with images. Like, why would that image there not be the full width? Make it the full width. Don't be shy about it. What's very nice here, and I've noticed this across all of your pages, you got this disclaimer saying, I'm not a medical specialist. And on all of your pages, at least all of the ones I looked at this morning, you cite a whole bunch of sources. People will like that. Google will like that. And it's not like you're making dramatic medical claims here, but you are covering, you're covering the ground. You're being responsible. You're declaring that you are not an absolute expert. Again, take that image, bring it up under the headline, make it the full width of the page. Don't be shy. Make this the full width of the page. And again, you're doing the same. You've got all those different sources and the disclaimer. So great. I mean, I really like it. I 90% love it. So good, really nice start there. Bible study quest. So again, we have another we had devotionals before, and now we have the study quest. So basically, I think this is more specifically a look at, finding stuff within the Bible. So we got now here we have a narrow header. See the in proportion. Actually, let's see. I'm going to go to Bible challenges. All right, so that's good. So the only bit that stays the same is this very narrow band at the top, which is great because it means that every time I go to a new page, I see that I'm getting to a new page. And look, I have this little what we call breadcrumb at the top. So I can see where in the site I am, and I can get back to. I can always get back to where I've been. I can use the back button, but it's kind of a nice convention. Not everyone. We used to use this a lot years ago, and then it kind of fell out of fashion. But I still find it a really useful thing. The little breadcrumbs there. So Bible quests, animals in the Bible quest. Oh, that's fun. Oh, look, I like that. You see, look, headline, followed by a nice bold image right across the full width, animals in the Bible. Dear Quester and Bible study enthusiasts. So now we're getting into it. And so, yeah, here's where you can start your donkey stories, birds in the air, doves and ravens. So again, it's taking a broad topic like the Bible and looking at particular aspects of it. And I like it. I like the fact that this is a kind of full width website. I like the fact that you have a white, clear background to the full width. I like that you have this image immediately under the heading. I like that you have that narrow header at the top. So you get a ton of stuff right there. So good for you. Life with celiac disease, gluten-free journey. So, hey, this is a topic that, again, it's a kind of niche health topic, but certainly important to a lot of people. This website, under construction, don't say that. I just go in there right now and remove that. You don't need that. You don't need to tell people that it's under construction. Just keep building away. And in fact, when Google comes across that phrase, under construction, website, Google doesn't like it either, strangely. So it's confusing to people. Google doesn't much like it. I just said, I just removed that. So I'm not quite sure what's happening here. I don't know whether, it's like images that are not. Let me just see if I can reload that and get that image. No, I'm not getting the images. All right. So again, look at us with the words here. I know there's a temptation. It's like we're all writers, right? And we want to write about the things we're passionate about. But you've always got to remember that the home page is the shop window. It's where you show the goods. It's where you show the best of what's in your store. It's where you show the items that you think most passers-by will be most interested in, to grab their attention and tempt them into your website or tempt them into your store. Think of it as a shop window. So look, header area, that's what we're talking about. All right, you could even take a gluten-free journey and put it over to the right in line with celiac and make that head area a little narrower. But still, if I go to page to page, most of the page is new, so the header stays where it is, up in the head area. Now, what was I going to? So blog. Hey, by the way, nice design on the logo. I like that. Gluten-free journal. So this is the blog. So you can be adding. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the 3-column design. It's slightly old school, and also it's just in terms of usability. It means I have to look at, if I want to find my way around, I'm going to there, I'm looking at the navigation. Now you want me to look on the left, and you want me to look on the right, and you want to look in the middle. Now I'm going to assume the bit in the middle is the most important bit, but still, it's I don't know. Like I would, whatever you have in the left-hand column here, I'd just put it all over in the right-hand column. Like just have one extra column, not 2 extra columns. I guess that's what I'm saying. Really nice logo. I like that. But again, can we have some more images? It may not be as visual as some topics, like the cooking or actually, I guess there should be. I guess there should. Hey, there should be a cooking element here. But I know it's not as visual as like dogs or toys or something. But again, if you can find some kind of visual element, so you can get that kind of shop window thing happening. Again, I like the white background. Love the logo. It's one of the best logos I think we're seeing today. And I haven't read through all the text. I'm going to assume the text itself is fine. But maybe I can actually, let me just go to about. Okay, not done that yet. That's okay. All right. So, hey, all of these are in early stages. So lots of good stuff happening on that side. The Brilliant Chandelier. What great. I love that as a domain name. The Brilliant Chandelier, because the brilliant is great. It's about brilliant is like saying wonderful, but it's also brilliant in terms of light, dispersing light. Love the design here. I know it's kind of reversed out, and I don't like reversed out, but I can almost kind of forgive you because it kind of looks really well here. Again, I find that text a little long. I don't want to read that much about a chandelier, I don't think, not on the home page. So let me see. I'm going to go to styles, 6 things. Hang on, chandelier styles. Let's go there. What happens? All right, love it. See how narrow that header is? Perfect, just right. It means the vast majority of every page now. Hey, look at all this. Look at all this variety. You see, what an interesting topic. So I guess this is a subtopic of interior design. And actually, so we have interior design, we have lighting, and then we have the Brilliant Chandelier as a subtopic of lighting. So love that. Team, you got a team. Meet the team. Small team so far. No, not a small team. We've got more people in the team. Love it, love it, love it. So, stuff. History of stuff. Love that as all right, so but it's kind of interesting. You see the header where it says Brilliant Chandelier? It's like very, very simple, but it actually works. Like I said, I think on the home page I would maybe cut back on the text a little bit. That image is gorgeous. So I guess these are blog posts that I'm seeing underneath. Intro to our blog here. Okay, so it's just, again, like a starter, you're starting out. Love the topic. Love how visual this is going to be. Hey, you could do videos too, like how do you hang a chandelier? How do you clean a chandelier? Like I said, I particularly like the domain name. It's just so nice. And it's such an interesting little niche as well. Cool. Excellent. I'm rushing on a little bit because I'm keeping half an eye on the time and the number. So Dare to Journal. We've got some great domain names. I like that. Dare to Journal. The starting point of discovering who you are, your gifts, your talents, your dreams is being comfortable with yourself. Spend time alone. Write in a journal. That's kind of fun. Fun quote. And look, everyone's gone miniature on their images. Why does everyone have tiny images? I don't want tiny images. I want big, bold, full-width images. It's like tiny image, and let me introduce you to my long text. So, hey, don't tell me this isn't a visual topic. So hang on, here's a gratitude journal. And again, it's early days, and I know that for everybody. Before you start, I want to find an interior page. So again, love the font, love the size of the headline, love the font underneath. Again, why with the tiny baby? So tiny images like that were really important back in like 2003 when hardly anyone was on broadband and we were all on dial-up. These days with broadband, there is no technological constraint. There is no reason why you can't make that image full size, full width. So I would do that. And again, the words are good. You're going to need the words for SEO. Oh, hang on, we're already there. Journaling, method-free writing. All right, so early days. But, and by the way, I like the logo. I like the fact that the header isn't too deep. But yeah, let's make it more visual. Let's have some, hey, have a YouTube channel. Have it like, you know how, talking head videos. You can be in front of your craft table showing people how you journal. And again, I don't know whether you're going to be journaling just online or journaling in paper journals as well. But one way or another, you can show us. You can show us on a screen or you can show us on a craft table. Show and tell. Make this. The web is a medium. This isn't print. This isn't a book. This isn't a catalog. This isn't a magazine. This is an interactive medium. You can share videos. You can share images. You can talk to people. You can have Zoom calls. You can have a monthly meetup on video on Zoom with people talking about their adventures in journaling. So really try to think in your mind when you're creating this as well as just creating a website, ask yourself, hey, can I create a community here? Can I create a passionate core group of people who are going to be fascinated, and we'll get together once a month on Zoom, and we'll invite other people to share us, and we'll talk about our adventures in journaling over the last 30 days. And we're going to share photographs, and we're going to share discoveries, and we're going to talk about our travels, and we're going to talk about all the new people we've met because of journaling. So you see what I mean? I'm making it social. I'm making it social and interactive. And not just for this website, but across lots of the website topics. Ask yourself that question, because there's a temptation to think like an old school publisher, where we're just publishing information and making it available to readers. Well, it's like a library, right? That's old school. That's a magazine. That's a book. The web offers us many, many more opportunities and options, whether it's videos, whether it's interaction, whether it's Q&A, whether it's reader-generated content. Here people can, invite other people to submit what they're doing in journaling. And again, I'm trying to balance. I'm trying not to be too critical of anyone's work, because we can see this is early days for a lot of these websites. I just want to make sure that when you move forward, don't get stuck into too much talk, like too many words, too much writing. The words have a place, and they can be great for SEO purposes on the inside, but on the home page and on maybe the major category pages, show, don't tell. Show me wherever you can. It won't work with every single topic, but most topics you can show. And in fact, if you look at the Coffee Detective site now, it used to be just text, and then it was text plus images. Now, other than the homepage, most of the principal category pages start with a headline followed by a video and followed by multiple images. It's multimedia, because this medium is multimedia. So think the same. If I were going to make every page multimedia, how would it look for my topic? This is Women's Reign. I'm seeing it up here, and if I go to about. I'm just not sure, because I'm not, for some reason, I'm not getting Women's Reign. I've tried. So we've got about, this is a kind of, I think this is pretty much like the template. So whoever's behind Women's Reign, I'd love to talk about your site, but you can resubmit it next time. And when you resubmit it, you submit it as a first time, because this doesn't count. All right. So here we've got welcome to the place for thriving boomers. So it's called. All right. It's a Wix site. I think there was a note on this one saying eventually the domain name would be thrivingboomers.com. This little logo here is super small. I can't read that. I'm assuming that says the Thriving Boomer, but I can't read it. So it'd be interesting. Let us know how it goes with Wix. I've never created a website with Wix. And if you can, I would get that advertising off the top. Maybe that means you have to pay, go up to a pro version or something. But you really don't want an advertisement for the site builder being the first thing people see. And maybe that's going to come when you go to your own domain at thrivingboomers.com, that you won't have that anymore. Anyway, so let's assume the top bit's gone. Thriving Boomer, again, it doesn't quite work with the font that tiny, but I like the fact that you've got a very narrow header. So don't settle for surviving, thrive. Now, are there Boomer websites out there? Yes, there are. There are lots of us Boomers, and there are lots of websites serving our needs. So you've got to really make this special and stand out. And you are kind of expressing a point of difference, which is this isn't just about surviving. This is about thriving. This is about having an active, exciting life, not slowing down as you get into your Boomer years. So we've got, okay, it's we thriving Boomers. All right, but hang on. All right, got it. But look, see what I like? It's a shop window. So I've got the navigation here, home about what's a Boomer, health and well-being. But as I scroll down the home page now, I'm getting the shop window. I can go to health and well-being, leadership, what's a Boomer. I'm not getting into heavy blocks of text. Now, like I said, nothing wrong with long copy on the inside of the site, but just give me that shop window on the home page. Other features coming soon: travel, Medicare, Boomer activism, become a coach. I love how you're playing around with the fonts here. I really like that. So now we've got, coronavirus for what Boomers need to know, very topical. Strategic Planning Coach 1, Planning Coach 2, About Your Host. Yeah, let's go to About Your, can we? I know we can't go to About Your Host. All right, so lots of fun stuff happening here. I'm glad that, hang on, I'm going to go to leadership. All right, so on the home, we have this image here, which is a kind of compilation of notes and Social Security and health and poetry. Poetry's good. But if I go then to an interior page, that image thankfully doesn't come with it. That gets straight into the content. And again, I'd be just tempted to bring the image right up under that headline. So it's like the kids' book thing. It's the eye candy thing. It just makes the page look more attractive if the first thing under the headline is an image rather than words, because words are hard work. There's a much bigger cognitive load in terms of figuring out words compared to figuring out pictures. Our minds process pictures far more easily and far more quickly and with much less effort than words. So that's why I kind of front load the images, because there is that sense of, hey, I get it immediately, boom. Very fast comprehension, and it's easy compared to reading sentences and paragraphs, which feels a little bit like going to school. So I like the full width here, those big images. I like the white background. Lots of stuff happening here that I think is strong. Like I say, I'm assuming and hoping you'll get rid of that Wix header, and you got to figure out how to make that. If you can't make the logo work in that narrow header, then I would not have it there. If I say, I can't read that, don't immediately make this header 3 times deeper, because you're doing the right thing in having that narrow header. So lots of good stuff there. Let's Do Life. What a fun domain name. Let's Do Life.net. Happy, sad, wonderful, awful. Life can be many things, but no matter what life brings, it's always easier to get through when you have information and support. So come along and together, let's do life. What a great phrase. It's kind of, that's looking very English, I must say, but maybe it's not. Let's start here. Now, that's kind of weird because I started, so I did that. I did as I was told. And I go to the About Me page, and there you are. Hello, Dr. Lisa, which is great. It's nice to know that, look, there you are. I can see who you are, which helps. You're a doctor, which gives you some credibility. And it's kind of fun, the contrast of the doctor against this little kind of doodle, the picture of the house and Let's Do Life. There's something very, very playful and almost childlike about Let's Do Life, but with the credibility of 23-year career, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, but here's my question. Nothing wrong with the About page, but is it where you want people to start? I'm not sure. How about topics? Let's do live. Great photograph. So hang on. Topics. You're making it hard for me. Look, topics. I got to read that, and then I got. Who are you really? Come on now. You can make this easier. So let's go back to home. Again, let's go back to shop window. And I'm not sure why this has faded. The background has faded here now that I've seen it. What if I reload that? Can I get that nice image back? Hang on, just waiting for it to reload. No, it's not going to give it. It's weird, eh? Weird how that background has changed. All right. So I kind of like this text. It's kind of fun. But maybe it can wander over to the left here. Maybe on this big space on the right-hand side, you can give me a shop window. Maybe you can simplify the topics and give me, you may have 20 topics, but hey, give me the four big ones. Show me a picture. Show me a link. Build me a shop window, store window. Because at the moment, start here, and it goes to About. And that's okay. You have a very strong About page. But I'm not sure it's what I want to do first. I think if you're saying let's do live, there's a wonderful implicit promise there. Let's do live. It sounds very, very positive. And when you say start here, it's like I want this. When I click on start here, I want to be the step one in doing live. So it's almost like, okay, here are the big major topics that make the biggest difference in people who want to actively grasp life and do life, in spite of the sadness, and the awfulness sometimes. So. Yeah, shop window. It's like I said before, make it easy for me to understand exactly what it is you're offering. Don't make me, because when you say start here and I go to here, you're saying, hey, Nick, if you want to do this, you've got to read all this stuff about me, not about you, about me. And I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4 thing happening here. And it's like, and then it's like, so this is great, the fact that you have everyone saying wonderful things about you. Terrific for credibility. But when are we going to get to doing life? Hang on, let me get to the blog. All right, early days. And again, I know it's early days. I love the kind of images you're using. This is a blog. I'm not sure what I'm going to leave it. If I'm going to leave it here. Sure, you're going to leave it here. It's having like a let's do life. It implies vigor and movement and energy. And a blog is a great way to keep people current. If you don't have a blog, ask the question, why do people come back to your site? Now, sometimes there's good reasons. You can have lots of how-to information. You can have recipes. You can have all kinds of stuff on a website. That's a reason for people to come back. But a very powerful reason for people to come back to a website is when you have a blog where things are changing, where there's something new, where I love your site, but I've read it, I've seen it, I've been there, done that. But if there's a fresh blog post each week, I can come back to read the new post. That's a reason for me to come back. And when I see that post, it's something new that I can then share with my friends and family. Really like that logo thing. There is something very, very playful, very, very positive, childlike. Lots of positivity built into that design, which I really like. Cat Info Detective. Look at this. I think this is a second cousin to the Coffee Detective, helping you find what you want to know about your cats. I find that line underneath a little clumsy. I might do a second or third draft on that. So, it's fun. Again, playful. Sky Blake here, Cat Detective. Or more precisely, Cat Info Detective, speaking to you from Cat Info headquarters. So the whole thing is kind of playful. Ever been frustrated with your cat peeing outside the box or clawing your ankles? Absolutely. So now we're getting to cat breeds, info. So this is kind of fun because, yes, thank you for, there's a bit of a shop window thing happening here. I'm going in. I can go to breeds and shows, grooming. I can go, okay, I'll go there. Arts and entertainment. Hey, that's interesting. I can go there. Felines in history. Hadn't thought about that. Go there. Cats in literature. Hadn't thought about that. Okay, there. So it's a real kind of shop window. There's not big blocks of copy. You're just saying, hey, look, here are all the different aspects that we're going to talk about. Now, as I come back up, let me, we're going to do the header test. We're going to go cats, breeds, and breeders. Right, and I think what I might do is I want to change your header a bit. Maybe I'll put the cat detective image on the left. Maybe I'll bring this text up a bit so I can reduce the depth again of the header. You know, my obsession with the header. I find it kind of weird, this black outline you have to everything. Can I? Oh, breeds of feline. God, look at that! All those breeds of cat. But yeah, I can't click on them. Sources. Excellent. I like the fact you're quoting sources. So again, it's kind of fun. But look, helping you find what you want to know about your cats. That's what I read first when I came to the site. And that makes me think, okay, this is a regular kind of cat information. And we've got cat behavior, healthy Q&A, rescue and adoption. It's almost like the stuff I expect about information that I want to know. You know, helping you find what you want to know about your cats. Okay, that all works together. But it's interesting, when I get down here, arts and entertainment, feline in history, cats in literature, that's like a whole different topic, which is kind of fun. That was unexpected to me. And it'd be maybe you could have a subhead here of, you know, cats and culture, because that's fun. That's different. See, so there's tons of websites on there on how to take care of your cat and about cat breeds. But if the cat detective also has this curiosity about cats in culture, that's a lovely point of difference. By the way, I do really like the image. I love the logo. I don't know whether you had this done or whether you found it. You must have had it done. Look, Cat Info Detective. It's so cute. It's lovely. So you can contact Sky. Look, more images. Love it. Love it. Got a question about cats or a trail you want me to follow. You see? You see? That's better than what I do. I have Coffee Detective, but I don't actually play to that story. You're really playing to the detective thing, a trail you want me to follow. So that's fun, and I love that. I love the imagery. Love the imagery. All right, got to move on. Can't spend too long on there. Youth in trouble. So again, you know what I'm going to say. Massive, huge header. So if I get a how-to. Okay, no, it shrinks a bit. All right, so we haven't quite got there. Well, it's not filled yet. All about Cindy. All right, so youth in trouble then becomes, there you go, Cindy. Incidentally, Cindy, I love the topic. Years ago when my boys were younger, they were on the verge of trouble, and they kept bringing, some people bring back kittens. My boys used to bring back youth in trouble, kids who had been thrown out of their homes. So we always seemed to have troublesome teenagers in bunk beds in our basement for a certain period of my life, and we were happy to help, and some of those kids are still in touch with us today, which is great. So, full of admiration for what you're doing. So the youth in trouble up here, I think maybe that should be white font against the background, because it's kind of hard to read. And I'm not sure, oh look, okay, it's one of those. Look, it's this kind of, all right, so again, you've got lots of useful information. And I said, like I said, I think this is a super important topic, because there are a lot of teenagers, youth that struggle, and they deserve some help. They're kids. They're just older kids. So I love what you're doing, but again, I would try to give me that shop window thing. It's like almost like I have to read all of it to understand what this is about. So my account, that's interesting. Why would I have an account here? Why would I? All right, I'd have to dig deeper to figure out why you need that. Cindy learns patience through animals. Interesting. Love that. So, but again, don't be shy with the images. Make the images bigger. My kids used to. I had at the same period. I had a farm, a hobby farm. All part of my history you never knew about. I had challenging children who were adopting other troubled youth, and I had a farm, and the two used to go together very well. Those kids used to love the animals. is to be able to relate and take comfort from the animals. So again, I think you're doing some great stuff here, but I'm finding it. So, audience, yes, people who care about troubled kids or people with troubled kids, troubled youth. Purpose, I guess to inform. Promise, I'm not so sure. So I would just say work on the shop window. I don't think when I get here I need that huge image at the top. Maybe I can start the website like here. So I've just got that small bit, and I think maybe that should be like it's not that easy to read, particularly when it gets into. Incidentally, it's really good that you found that as a domain name. So I would do, again, a bit more of a shop window in the front of like, here are the 4 categories we work on with youth in trouble. So that, again, I can just look in the shop window, see, okay, this is what it's about. I'm going to dip my toe into this area or maybe that area or maybe that area. Because at the moment, again, you're asking me to kind of read too much for me to really get it, to really understand. But kudos to you. So the third religious site, Girls Seeking God. So lots of navigation here. Actually, let's do Women of the Bible. See, again, we've got over half the page is devoted to that header area. You really don't need to. You can take Girls Seeking God, take that over to the left, take that text, take it over to the right. So that real header area can be much narrower. Excuse me, I need a slurp of water. All right, I haven't filled that one in yet, Old Testament. I'd maybe try to make that logo there, the text a little bolder, maybe in seems to kind of disappear a little bit into the white background. Is my voice going? Hang on, I'm going to slurp a bit more. I can't do voice going. I've got 2 more to do after this. Hang on. Let's try again. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go on mute and I'm going to cough a bit. Hang on a second.
Nick is such a trooper, guys. Thank you, Nick. I know you're coughing over there, but thank you for doing this. It's a great session, and we love all the sites. So this is fun. Nick will be back in just a moment, folks.
I will be back in just a moment. I'm a little bit better. I've been belching, I've been coughing, I've been drinking. All right, so lots of text, which is fine, but I'm sure you can find more imagery. And like I say, your logo is really nice with the dove. I'd make it kind of pop a bit more. It's disappearing a little bit into the white background. Reduce the header size. I like the idea. Again, it's kind of Bible study, it's Bible work, but it's Girls Seeking God. So you've taken a kind of niche within that broader topic. Hang on, let's get a daily life, closer than a sister. Let's get a steady diet. Oh, look, I like that. Look at that big fat image. Lovely. Nice big image, full width, on a white background. And then we're getting it. And again, the text is appropriate, but I like the fact that you're putting images in there. And I hope you, hang on, let's get a nature. No, I haven't done that one yet. Keep going with the images. I think that's super powerful. So, all right. So this I was confused with this, so I went back and looked at the notes. So it says Catalpa Realty. This is because the site is being built on a Realty template. It's not going to say that. So this is RV Work and Wonder. We read about it. This was under discussion in the Facebook group a while ago, like choosing the right domain name for this site. So that was the final choice. So forget the Realty thing, but there will be a RV Work and Wonder logo put up there. Find your dream lifestyle today. Hey, look, I was talking about promise and purpose. There's the promise. All right. So hang on. You know what I got to do now? I got to do a little navigation thing. I'm going to go to About Us. The image has changed, but again, that whole header thing, look at it, 2/3 of the page. So within that template, see if you can have a much narrower header area. Otherwise, I'm going to go. And again, this is early days. We just got these two global. Okay, so this is just pretend text for now. So don't share this out on the interwebs. Hopefully, you're just sharing this with us for now. But eventually, if I go back to home, this is going to be RV Work and Wonder. Yeah. So again, lots of okay. So this isn't RV stuff. This is the realty stuff. So you're going to have amazing opportunities for images, like travel photos, for videos, for how-to, for interviews with others living the lifestyle. There are so many people who have RVs and live and work in their RVs and travel in their RVs. Again, I think this should be a very, very social, very, very visual site, a very helpful, a very how-to site. So yeah, I'm glad you chose a domain name and work on this template to make it work for you. And finally, look at this, 357. I'm doing pretty well. So this is the you're going to love this or you're going to hate it. Oh my goodness, killing the mother-father. So I showed this to my wife, and she said, "Oh my goodness, that's terrible. That's awful. That is so wrong, killing the mother-father." And the first time I saw it, I thought, "Oh my goodness, that's terrible." And probably looking right now, you're probably thinking, "Oh my goodness, that's terrible." And it kind of is. It's just so wrong in so many ways to say killing the mother-father. And it's slightly better when you get to the About page and read the history of why it's called the mother-father, because this is about crushing chronic illness one day at a time. And here's Christine. Welcome to my site. And there's some background here. The mother, THFR, comes from a particular enzyme, which is part of the disease that she has, which is Epstein-Barr virus. That's what she struggles with. That's her chronic illness. So the killing the mother, that's the mother. And one of her doctors used to substitute the word father for the F word. So if we go back to killing the mother-father, we're actually saying killing the mother, something else beginning with F, which is even worse, right? Crushing chronic illness one day at a time. So let's go back to home. I've got a virus for you, baby. All right, so this is the blog post that kicks it off. This is the story of Christine and her health struggles through her life and how she discovered she had this. That line, I've got a virus for you, baby, there's a kind of attitude here. So killing the mother, father, crushing chronic illness one at a time. This is Christine. This is her, hey, Christine, you tell me if I'm wrong, but to me what this says is here is a person who is not going to be a victim of this disease. This is a person who's going to kill the mother, father, and crushing a chronic illness. I got a virus. There's a voice and there's an attitude here that speaks to her attitude about her sickness and the role it plays in her life and how she's going to deal with it. So at first when I looked at it, because, politically correct and all that, I looked at it and I thought, oh my goodness, that's awful, that's terrible. And the editor in me said, oh, maybe she should have called it Crushing the Mother-Father. Maybe that would have been more acceptable. And then in a while I stepped back and I thought, well, you know what, this isn't about me, it's about her. And this is her voice, and this is her take, and this is her position. And if you don't like it, go away, because there will be plenty of people who are perfectly comfortable with it. And that's one of the wonderful things about a website, is you can take a position. You can use language, a point of view, where you know you're going to upset 80% of the people who come here, but they're not your audience. The 80% that you upset are not your audience. The 20% who get it are your audience. So there's actually sometimes an advantage to being provocative. It becomes something of a filter, all right? So at the same time, while I'm talking about this, and we're looking at killing the mother-father, which is about as inappropriate as you can get, we keep getting these recipe bowls flipping by underneath, which again, remember I talked about this is an interactive mobile medium. It's not a magazine. It's not a book. So what are we also learning about crushing chronic illness one day at a time? It's about diet, among other things. So hang on, let's get at the blog. It's funny. Like I said, the the sequence I've taken here has been exactly what was sent to me on the document by AWAI, but I would probably have put this at the end anyway, because to me this is the most striking submission because of its courage and its provocative nature, and all of these lines. I'm a copywriter, right? I love words. I'm a fan of writing. And killing the mother, father, crushing chronic illness one day at a time. I've got a virus for you, baby. Is that a beautiful headline for a blog post? Love it, love it. Exactly how I envision my virus seducing. Right. So it's about her struggle. It's her voice. It's her thing. So Christine, I for one, am one of the 20% who really like this. And I think you've done a terrific job, and I can see that there's a ton more you're going to add. And I really like the simplicity at the top here of the navigation. Super kind of classic, clean, simple. And you're using words in a very, very powerful way that will upset some people and attract other people. And we're at 402, which isn't bad, I say it myself, spreading 34 different websites over almost exactly the right period of time. And that's it, and we are done. And so now I get into the whole kind of separation anxiety moment, because it's kind of goodbye. It's not goodbye completely, because we've got the Facebook group, which is great, because that endures. It goes from group to group to group to group to group. So there's some fabulous sites here that we've seen today. And I hope you've stuck around not just for what I've said about your site, but to listen, to see what everyone else has created. Because people have all brought their own interests, their own kind of qualities into this. And for me, it's always a huge pleasure. And I also feel this, I don't know whether deserved or not, this kind of pride that through the last several weeks have in some part contributed to the creation of all of these websites. And that's amazing. That's extraordinary. I feel super good about that, the hope that I've somehow contributed in this way. And thank you, everyone, so much for taking the trouble to do this and to kind of fit into that 7-8 week window, because it's not easy to do what I asked you to do in 7 or 8 weeks. I know it's not, particularly from a standing start. And for everyone who's close, keep going, don't stop. And for all of you that have submitted today, please stay engaged on the Facebook page and encourage those who didn't quite make it in time. Help them get to the point where they can publish the site. And if you weren't part of the 34, gosh, it's like the 34 that coming to theaters near you soon. If you weren't one of the 34, then let us know in the Facebook group when you do publish your site, and we'll all take a peek, and we can all contribute and say something. So that's it. Thank you all. Thank you, Cameron, as always, for taking care of me and taking care of all of us through all of these sessions and fielding all the questions. You're the only person who helps me on these presentations who, one, makes every question that people ask sound fascinating, and you also somehow manage to make me feel that my answer is excellent. So you make everyone feel good in how you take care of us during these presentations. So thank you for that. And that is pretty much it. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Let's keep in touch on the Facebook group. And come back in about 6 months, and we'll watch a whole new group of 34 get to this point. Hey, and don't stop now. Now you've started. Do not stop. Keep going with these sites. Okay, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Cameron, and goodbye.
Bye. Thank you, Nick.
Bye. Bye-bye.